What if I told you that the entire life cycle of your business, I'm talking its rise, its potential fall, and its renewal, was all mapped out about 3,000 years ago? Well, that's what we're going to get into. We're going to explore how this ancient text, the I Ching, gives us a timeless and honestly a surprisingly practical roadmap for pretty much any project or organization today.
So think about it. You've worked your tail off. You've jumped over hurdles. You've built something you're proud of, something great. But that leads to the big question, right? What's next? I mean, how do you not only stay on top, but actually keep growing?
So here's the journey we're going to take. We'll start at the very peak of success, then we'll look at how to navigate that inevitable downfall, figure out how to rebuild even stronger, and finally, discover what true, lasting wealth really looks like. Let's dive in. Okay, so the core idea from this ancient wisdom is that success isn't some final destination you arrive at. Nope, it's a cycle, it's a four-stage journey of rising, falling, and then renewing that pretty much every single organization goes through. We're going to unpack 4 specific hexagrams from the I Ching. Now don't let the words scare you, just think of them as symbolic snapshots, almost like ancient infographics that map out this whole journey from peak performance all the way to this profound, purpose-driven kind of growth. Let's start at the top, right? The ideal state for any organization, peak harmony. In the I Ching, this is captured in hexagram 11, which is called Great Vibrant Flow. This is that rare, powerful feeling of being totally in the zone, where everything just clicks.
So, what exactly is Great Vibrant Flow? Well, imagine a state of perfect harmony between your heaven, that's your big vision, your grand idea, and your earth, that's the day-to-day work, the execution. When those two are perfectly aligned, you get this massive productivity with almost zero wasted effort. It's like a magic multiplier effect, where tiny actions lead to huge results.
So how do you stay in this sweet spot? The advice is, surprisingly, super modern. First, you have to keep investing to gain in your people, your resources, your innovation. You can't get complacent. Second, you have to align all objectives. Make sure everyone, from the CEO down to the intern, is pulling in the exact same direction. And third, be tough on the inside but gentle on the outside. That means have a rock-solid core vision, but stay flexible and adaptive to the world around you. This ancient quote really captures the mindset perfectly. Pull out the thatch grass. Moving out to conquer is good. What does that mean? It means you're a unified force. You're clearing out all the weeds that don't serve you, and you're seizing the opportunity to expand. At this stage, growth isn't just possible, it's absolutely essential. But, as we all know, no peak lasts forever. Complacency creeps in, things change, and the cycle turns. The next phase is the downfall, and it's captured in hexagram 12, stagnation. And wow, the contrast is just stark. In flow, a little investment gets you a big return because you have wise leaders and shared goals. But in stagnation, that whole formula flips on its head. You're putting in a ton of effort for very little return because suddenly it's all about selfish individuals with their own conflicting agendas. The whole system just grinds to a halt. Now here's a really crucial point. Stagnation isn't about a lack of activity. Actually, it's the opposite. The place is probably buzzing with activity, but it's chaotic, wasted energy. Think of it like a tug-of-war inside the company. Everyone's pulling as hard as they can, but because they're pulling in different directions, nothing actually moves forward. All that energy just gets burned up in infighting. So, how in the world do you reverse this nosedive? It takes some gutsy leadership. First, you gotta identify and pull out the bad grass. That's all your outdated processes, your negative influences. Next, leadership at the very top has to wake up, see the crisis for what it is, and give a crystal clear mandate for change. And this is a big one. They have to acknowledge the shamelessness, call out the bad performance, the broken promises. You simply cannot let failure become the new normal. Okay, so after the fall comes the climb, and the path to recovery starts right here, with hexagram 13, companionship. This is all about rebuilding, and it always starts with finding the right people and creating real, honest-to-goodness teamwork. So what is true companionship in a business context? Look, it's not about hiring your friends or building a team of people who all think and look the same. It's about a unity that's based on shared hearts, shared objectives, and shared values. It's about creating that incredible synergy that comes from different strengths, not just forcing everyone to be the same. This journey is something every team goes through. It starts with forming. Then you hit storming. And I love this. The ancient text calls it the crying. It's that necessary, tough phase of conflict and debate. But you have to push through it to get to norming, the breakthrough. And then finally, performing, which the text calls the laughing. That initial struggle, that's the price you pay for true collaboration.
So what's the playbook for building this? It's really a three-step process. First, find true partners, not clones. Build your team on shared commitment, not just because you know somebody. From there, you build trust by being transparent. And that trust is what lets you embrace healthy conflict, because you understand that the struggle, the crying, is what leads to that awesome breakthrough moment of harmony, the laughing. And this brings us to the final stage of the cycle. Hexagram 14, great possession. Now this isn't just about clawing your way back to the top. This is about achieving a whole new, more profound level of success, one that's built on integrity and a real sense of purpose.
So what defines this higher level of success? It's really a shift in your whole mindset. You share your gains instead of hoarding them. You don't show off, you stay humble. And most importantly, you use the power you have to promote goodness and stop what's wrong. The focus shifts completely from just having wealth to creating lasting significance. The big idea here is a total redefinition of wealth itself. True riches are not measured by the number in your bank account. They're measured by the worthy projects you take on and the character you build while doing them. It becomes about contribution, not just accumulation.
All right, so we've journeyed through the entire cycle, from that peak of harmony down into the depths of stagnation and all the way back up to a more purposeful success. So now the question is, how do we make this ancient wisdom a practical tool we can actually use today?
This table here pretty much puts it all together. It's your cheat sheet. When you're in great flow, your key action is to expand and invest. When stagnation hits, you've got to uproot the bad stuff. To rebuild, you seek companionship by finding true partners. And once you achieve great possession, your entire focus shifts to pursuing significance. This is your roadmap. And that brings us to the final, and I think the most important question. Looking at this cycle, be honest. Where is your organization right now? And based on that, what's your next move?